Macrumors.
Hello, I'm Greg Rudke of Rudke Mods, and welcome to episode 3 of season 3 of my Mac Pro series. In today's episode, we're going to be flashing our 4.1 Mac Pro into a 5.1 Mac Pro, and even going to update it to a unsupported operating system through the App Store, which aka would make it a supported operating system then. So that's going to be cool. But anyway, before we do all that, all this season would not be possible probably if it hadn't been for the great people at SellYourMac.com. Hey, maybe you're looking to save some money and get a Mac Pro, and maybe you have an Apple device you'd like to sell to make that money. Let's quickly watch this ad and then we'll wrap up this intro video, so let's go. Hi, are you looking to sell an Intel Mac like one of these? Maybe you're looking to sell your old iPhone like one of these. If you go to sellyourmac.com/RutkeMods, link in the description, and sell your device, they'll even send you a free shipping label if you live in the United States of America. And they'll take devices from anywhere in the world. So just head to sellyourmac.com/RutkeMods and sell your device. I'll appreciate it, and they will too. And hey, you'll be making some money, and they do it at top dollar. So go there and check them out. And welcome back. So yeah, today's episode we'll be updating the 4.1 to a 5.1. I'll be showing you all the steps to do that, and then we'll be updating it to High Sierra. So let's get going. Okay, so welcome to my 4.1 Mac Pro's desktop. Before we explain to you how to install it, why do you want to update from a 4.1 to a 5.1? First off, it will increase the value of your Mac Pro a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit, instantly, because then that means you can run High Sierra by default with no hacks. It also allows you to run later CPUs that were introduced with the 2010 models, like the 6 cores and whatnot. So you can run those. It also allows you, if you're running those, to run 1333 megahertz DDR3 RAM. So that's also another reason why you want to do this. And before all of this, you have to do it before you even decide to upgrade your CPUs to the later models. Otherwise, the system will not post to begin with. So right now I have everything up here to show you that it's still currently a 4.1 Pro, as we can see here. And that's the specs it's running. It's currently running El Capitan. And if we want to, for instance, run High Sierra, if we're in the App Store here and we decide to try to download it, it's going to do this. This version of macOS is not compatible, basically. That's what it says. And that's just because this system doesn't have those 5.1 features in the firmware. But the hardware still is identical to the 5.1. It's just laid out a little bit differently assembly-wise. But it's still the same computer. So we can upgrade to a 5.1. And what we need to do is, first off, we'll need to go to Netkas and go to this article here. I'll put this in the description, okay? That's your first thing. Then, if you already have the file, okay, and you try to open it up, it's going to have some problems. First off, you'll have to right-click on it and go to Open because of security and stuff, and then hit Yes, I want to open it. But I've already opened it once, so I don't have to do that. But if you hit Upgrade to 2010 firmware right here, it is going to go through all the processes and try to do it, but you're going to get an error. And the reason why you're going to get an error is this tool is designed to download the 2010 firmware from Apple.com. The thing is, the address is changed and they never updated the file location on the updater firmware tool. So to get around this problem right here, we will have to close it out and close out the RAM disk if you already have that up. But you know, you should just do this first so you won't have to worry about all that. What you have to do is go to this website here, Apple has, and download the 5.1's firmware update for the 2010 models. This we're not going to be running, but what I'll explain to you is what you have to do is you open up the DMG right here, and that's it. You just launch the DMG you downloaded from apple.com and just leave it open in the background. You don't click on that or anything. Just leave it open and then run the tool. But before we run the tool, if you're running El Capitan or a newer hacked version of OS X, if you're still just a 4.1 person, you need to disable SIP, System Integrity Protection, which it started out in El Capitan and has been in every operating system since. If you're running Yosemite or older, you don't have to worry about this. You can go ahead and just skip ahead to when we're flashing. But before we get to that, I'm going to reboot the system, and we need to go into the recovery and type in some commands to disable SIP. Otherwise, the RAM disk will be ignored. It will never even start flashing. So I'll restart the system. I'll turn off the system, and then I'll show you how to get into the recovery. So let's go. Okay, so I currently have my system off here, and there's two ways you can get into the recovery partition for El Capitan or newer, and that's either A, go to the option menu, go into the boot order, and then boot up into recovery, or B, hit Command R right here, and it will do it that way. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do the Command R method. So we'll start up the system here. I'll hold in Command R, and the system will start going to the recovery. Now, if you don't have a factory card, factory supported card, you won't be able to get into the recovery. You'll have to go back to your original EFI supported card. And that is unless you have a card that is supported, like for instance a Fermi based card or some early Kepler cards, or basically any AMD card that was supported in El Capitan. Once you get past this boot screen, it will it should load up. But if you're running a later NVIDIA card, you'll need your default card to go into this. So anyway, it should be going into recovery now. Once that's booted up, I'll show you where to go. Okay, and welcome to the recovery. What we'll want to do is hit English for main language or whatever your language is, and then let it go on. And here we go. This should all show up here. And what we need to go is go up into the bar up here and go to Terminal. Let that come up. And here we're going to type commands. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the command you'll have to type in. If we hit enter, it will do it, and it's done. Now, if you want to re-enable this after flashing, you just type in this command, but say it as enable, and it will re-enable it. But I always leave it disabled. It's a security thing, but I've never seen any big issue with it. If you want to put it back on, you can. So anyway, we'll restart the system, get back into El Capitan, and continue from there. Okay, so now that we have SIP disabled, one more time to show you that these are the specs here. It's still a 4.1. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the tool. But first off, don't forget to start up by running the EFI DMG. Just open it up, leave it in the background. I'll minimize this. Okay, have that there. So it's now mounted, and now we can run the tool. So we'll open that up, And remember, you right-click, hit open, and say yes when it asks you if you're really sure you want to open it. Anyway, so now we're just going to hit upgrade to 2010 firmware, and it will start making the RAM disks. We type in our password. And here it goes. Okay, so this now is explaining to you what to do. You have to shut it completely down and then hold in the power button until it beeps, and etc., etc. It's just like flashing a 1,1 to a 2,1. So you hit OK, and now we shut down the system. Now, before we shut down the system, if you ever want to go back to 2009 firmware for some odd reason, say for instance you have a extended warranty from a used Mac seller and something bad happens and they don't like you having your firmware flashed, you'll have to first downgrade your CPUs if you upgraded those, and you'll have to download the EFI update for the 2009 systems. I'm not going to cover all that, but that's just so you know. But anyway, let's restart the system. We'll shut the system completely down and take it from there. Okay, so the system is now off. What we're going to do is just hold in the power button, let it turn on, keep holding the button in. It should rapidly flash. Let go of it. There's the flash beep. It's starting up, and it should start flashing now. It does not seem to be flashing, but we shall see if it did or not. Definitely doesn't look like it flashed. Let's see. It did not flash. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to attempt this again. I'll hit OK, and we'll shut the system off. And hold the button in. Now let's see if it flashes. Here we go. It is now flashing. That's the progress bar you should want. The drives will eject while it's flashing. This is a common thing for any Mac Pro when they're flashing firmwares. This is actually flashing. So that tells you if it fails the very first time, just try again. As long as your SIP is disabled and you try it a few times, it should in theory work with no problems. And here's proof. It's flashing right now. So I'll push this drive back in. And it's just flashing away. So we'll just wait here until it is finished. Okay, the system has shut off. It's starting itself back up. And it should start booting back into the operating system. Okay, so we're back on the desktop. We'll go over to About This Mac again. Now, after you flash, of course, it will still identify as an early 2009, but that's not the important part. This is. if we look, we are now running as a 5.1 Mac Pro. This has been a successful flash. Now, before we go into installing High Sierra for the heck of it, that's basically the end of the video. If you guys want to stick around, you can. I'll be showing you a few other things real quick and then updating to High Sierra. But that's basically the end of the video for anyone that was just following along. So thank you guys for watching, and anyone else that wants to stick around, this is going to probably be another 2 or 3 minutes, so let's get going. Okay, so it's time to install High Sierra. I have not logged into the App Store on this system yet, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference. I might have to do that during this, but as we see now, we have the 5.1 flash, and this is still the early 2009. So what we're going to do is close that out and see if it lets me download it. It is downloading, and I didn't even have to actually do anything. That's cool. And here we go. So what we're going to do is now it's going to flash the firmware to a better one for High Sierra. Now this is just a requirement, and if anything, you may have to download the installer and do it manually, but I think this should work fine. Now that it's flashed to a 5.1, it will always take the new 5.1 update flashes, so never worry about that. It will not brick your system or anything like that, because this is officially a early 2009 5.1. It's basically a mid-2010 now with 2009 parts in it. So we'll hit shut down, type in our password, and then we'll flash it by holding in the power button again. It blinks, we let go of it, and it should start flashing. And here we go. It's updating to the latest firmware for it. The drive has ejected again. Okay, the system shut off. It should start back up again. And now the system should technically support APFS and be able to install High Sierra. And here we go. Now it's up again, and now we can install High Sierra, and it should be downloading it probably from the internet as we do it. And it will start installing. I'll give you updates as it goes along. Real quick, let's see what it flashed it to. This is the current boot ROM right here. And it even says MP.3, and it's still a 5.1 here. So that's cool. Now it will be updating through High Sierra with no hacks. So we'll see how that ends up. Okay, so it's getting ready to restart. We'll hurry that along here. Close other applications, and it should start restarting. Here we go. And here's the installer installing as we speak. So we'll see you in High Sierra. Okay, and here we go. We have finally booted into High Sierra here. We'll check this out here. And here we go. It says High Sierra, Mac Pro early 2009, system report, 5,1. Now see, updating the 5,1 allowed you to install High Sierra natively with no issues, no hacks, or anything like that. And I'd always recommend doing that even if you don't plan on upgrading the hardware. And even with the factory default hardware that this thing has in it currently, which is a non-metal supported GPU, you know, it can still run High Sierra fine. But say you want to update to Mojave in the future, we'll be showing you how to do that too. And you can do it two ways, one with a hack or one which I will be doing, which is just upgrading to a metal supported GPU. And you know, still High Sierra is fine. You're going to get roughly 3 years of security updates when Mojave comes out. So if you just want to run High Sierra on a Mac Pro and not worry about metal supported GPUs, don't worry about it for now. But if you want future support for Mojave and stuff like that, a quick GPU upgrade and you're all set. And this shows you that just flashing to a 5,1 allows you to install High Sierra natively. It will allow you to install Mojave natively with the GPU upgraded. And that's it, really. Basically, so in the upcoming videos, we're going to be preparing this Mac Pro for Mojave. I'm not going to be upgrading the internal hardware a whole lot just yet because, first off, I need the money to. But we're going to be running it the way it is with a metal supported GPU. And I'll be showing you how to upgrade it to Mojave. Anyway, so that's the end of today's video. Guys, don't forget, I have a Patreon now, and I have two new contributors, patrons to it. Thank you guys for doing that. And if you guys would like to help support my videos, the Patreon link will be at the end of the video in the credits, and it's also in the description below. Also, don't forget, if you have a Mac or Apple device you'd like to sell, sellyourmac.com/rutkmods. Anyway, so once again, that's the end of today's video, and thank you for watching. This has been a RutKMods video.